Hello, hello, Ben. Welcome. See you guys. Not the best lighting, Ben, but it'll do. Got a little soft light to show that sunburn on my face. Britt, how are we? See you guys. Thanks for popping in, my man. Britt, I sent you an invitation to join. Let me know if you get it. Dave, what's going on, man? Candy, hello. Matt Cole, Tally, hello. All right, I'm gonna cancel it and send it again. Give me 1 second. Let me try that time.
There you go.
What's up, Britt? How
What's
you
going
doing?
on, dude? I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm a little nervous, but I'm
Why
ready.
are you nervous, dude? Come on, man. We
I
got
don't
this.
know. First one. This is my third time doing this. First one, very nervous. Second one, not too bad. This one, a little nervous, but I
Well,
know
it's
we're
a
gonna have a
different
great.
it's a different dynamic of conversation, and I think that probably puts a little
Oh,
bit
most
on it
definitely.
too. But
Very much a different dynamic.
but you're a good dude. I'm a good person, so we're getting ready to knock this shit out the
Oh,
park. So,
absolutely. I'm very excited. We'll let it go for a couple minutes
oh, for sure.
to let everyone join in.
Almost definitely. I like that hat though. Like I just recently seen you guys posting them, so I'm definitely gonna go cop. You already know. I'm
Thank you.
a
Yeah, they're
yeah. I'm
my
gonna go get them.
these shaped hats are like my favorite, and I literally
Yeah.
have like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, I like that shape. And then the
So I
trucker
was
hat
like,
is coming back too, and the trucker hat is fire,
oh,
you
I
know?
know.
Yeah,
They're
so
flying off the
I
shelves.
know.
It's
But I like
crazy.
a good bend. Not too heavy, but like just enough.
Exactly. Well, I
Yeah.
used to be exclusively like the 47 brand hats, if you're
Oh, for
familiar.
real? Yeah.
But then for some reason, I stopped liking the way they fit my head, and now I like can't wear them. But I
Now,
probably had 25 of those hats. Like,
did you grow up playing baseball? Because those are like
no,
the but no, no, okay.
no, I was one of those people that would, regardless of the sports team, just really just colors. Anything
Yeah.
like I had an Arizona Diamondbacks hat, a bunch of Dodgers hats, Kansas City, like just random, and people would be like, "You like that team?" I'm like, "No,
I
really."
guess. It matches my
But
outfit today.
yeah, exactly. That's what it's all
Yeah.
about. And if
For
anyone had a
sure.
problem with that, it was no big deal.
Yeah, no
Um,
big deal.
but yeah, were you in the shop today, or are you off today, or you're on set?
No, so I'm prepping for set. So I'm prepping
Okay,
for set, and I'm pretty much just doing house calls. Um, I'll get into that. I'm not really in a shop right now. I'm cutting out of a private space. So, but we'll get into that a little bit too.
yeah, absolutely. It was
For
like
sure. But yeah,
90.
so are you in a shop?
Not currently. We're
Okay.
working on the business, and I'm kind of the same. Do house calls to work on the side and
Yeah.
get the money I need to actually like sustain. But
Yeah.
it's been a bit. I was around shop today, just dropping off and picking up rigs, and there was a little bit of nostalgia there,
Yeah. Yeah.
just from being
It's
out of
a
it for a while.
yeah. The shop is it's a good place to be. It's something that every barber has to experience. Again, I'll get into
Absolutely,
that too because that shit is like it's such a different world, the barber industry. And then it's different. You have the barber industry as a whole, and then there's so many things you can do under that umbrella.
most
You
definitely,
know
and
what I'm
I
saying?
I think people don't necessarily realize that. And again, this will be the
Yeah.
topic of our conversation, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot more
Well,
that falls under the like umbrella that I
right.
had never realized, and even just through this, through talking to so many people, like set was something that was so unfamiliar to me. Um, but you never even stop to think. You're like, oh, where do these movie stars, where do these TV shows, where do they get their haircut? A lot of stuff like that. Do you want to wait till 8:35 or you're
Oh, we can. Hey, man, we can jump on whenever.
okay?
I'm solid. Told my people or whatever. So whoever jumps on, jumps on. Whoever doesn't, I'm sure they'll jump on it sometime. And it's I'm ready to get into it.
Absolutely. Okay. So first and foremost, thank you so much for coming on. Um, you guys, tonight we have Brittany Lester, aka BA the Barber. I know her as Britt. She's a barber, hairstylist in Los Angeles. Does a lot of set work, and also at some points has worked in the barbershop as well. She's a member of the LGBTQ community, and that shines through in her purpose as well. Britt has an exceptional story. In doing research for this interview, I came across some other just documentation and interviews, and I was really kind of amazed by it. Um, so aside from the main topic, I want to let her talk through that. It's a story of hard times, triumphs, risk taking. More than anything, it's a story about having faith in a power greater than yourself. So rather than like asking you specific questions right away and going through that, I'd really like to just give you the chance to talk about that from your upbringing to, because it seems like it is like a path and it seems to be a purpose.
Yeah,
So without
yeah.
further ado, I'd just like to let you take the floor with that.
Cool. Well, thanks, dude. I mean, like we like you said, we've chit chatted a lot, but it's cool to finally put the face with the name. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much. I got nervous just as you started introducing me. I don't know why, because I kind of like wrote some notes and prepped myself. But yeah, thank you. What's going on, everybody? Thank you, everybody that's joining in tonight. Yeah, we're gonna dive deep into some stuff, but I'm just gonna get into it. My name is Britt. Um, I am from Marietta, Georgia. My mom raised my two older brothers and myself on her own. So I come from a single parent home, and single parents are like these superheroes that go unnoticed. So shout out to all the single parents out there. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic. I identify as non-binary. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I am dual licensed, which means I have a barber and cosmetology license. So, and just briefly, you said I work on set, yes, and I do a little bit of I work on set, and I'm running some house calls and currently cutting out of a private space. But how I got to where I am really in this moment, sitting across from Tyler on IG, is a pretty cool story. I am in recovery. I've been in recovery for some time. I started out pretty much when I was about 17. I wasn't allowed to play basketball anymore because my grades got bad. So I just started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that snowballed from about 17 all the way up to 24, 25. I've been in and out of the system, drugs and alcohol, just really lived a very free life. With being part of the LGBT community, I knew growing up that like my mom was cool. Like she never really pressured me about telling her anything and never made me like feel uncomfortable. But I knew when I got to a certain age, I'm gonna want to go out and date and all those kinds of things. So me being me, at the age of 18, I moved out. Was it the smartest idea for myself? No, but it has made me who I am today. So I started just like dabbling with drugs and alcohol, and I have several DUIs, and on my third DUI, it changed my life. Not the DUI itself. The DUI, yes, it did change my life. This was the first time I actually got into a really bad car accident. I woke up in jail not knowing anything. My best friend was with me, totaled my car. It was a whole mess. Like, I was to the point in that life that, like, I didn't even call my mom anymore when things happen. Like, I'm not calling mom because she's not coming to get me. I don't want to hear it. Like, me and my brothers are really close, and even our relationship was strained. Like, things had gotten bad and it sucked because that was all that I knew. My mom and my brothers are my foundation. Like, that's family. So once I got my third DUI, I tried to tighten up as much as possible, and I was in a DUI program. And from then on, I knew that like I wanted to get sober. I didn't say I was going to stay sober, but I knew that I had to change my ways because I'm originally from California. So I was born in California, and my mom raised us out in Georgia back in the 90s. It's just cheaper out there to live. And, being a single parent in California, I could not imagine her raising us out here and all of us turning out the way that we did. Because my brothers are very successful. My mom's living a great life. Like we are literally able to finally take care of our mom because that's what we said that we were going to do. No, we didn't sit around and with each other and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. But we're, inside you, I was like, I'm going to give back. And so that the fact that we're able to do that now, is because of that DUI, and it's because of the program that I was in. I fought to be in the program. The program didn't want me. I was a habitual offender. It was bad. So about not even halfway through the program, I was in the program for a couple months, and I found out that my mom had colon cancer. That's what changed my life. Sorry, excuse me. My brothers were living in California, and I had just started dating my now wife at the time. And I had, let her know, hey, my mom is sick. I ain't got no job. I'm in this DUI program. If you don't want to do this, I'm cool with it. Just like, I'm cool with it. She was like, no, we're going to ride this out. So I'm grateful for her because we were able to, between, my family and my brothers, we were able to help my mom get through this. And she is healthy. She is in, past remission. She has a clean bill of health. So that's that. So now to that DUI and that program really shifted things for me. I am so sorry. My allergies.
Nope, I completely get it. Believe me, they've been
Um,
killing me for 3 months. Take your time.
all right. So I always knew I was going to move to California. So once my mom got sick and all that kind of stuff, it kind of put a chill on things, I would say. So after she got better and all that kind of stuff, like I really was trying to figure out what my dreams and my passions were. What is my purpose in this life? And I really started to elevate my prayer and meditation instead of your basic, I don't know. My higher power is God. So I've always prayed to God. That's what I believed in and believe in. I mean, I take other things from other, I don't want to say religions, organized religions, but other spiritual entities and combine them in my own and all that kind of stuff. But I really started to pray and meditate about what my passion was. What am I supposed to be doing in this world? What is my calling? I grew up playing sports, so I already knew like basketball's fun, personal training's fun, all these things, but they never solidified that feeling on the inside. When you know your passion, you don't have to like go look for it. It's already there, right? So through prayer and meditation, I literally woke up one morning and I was looking up all things barber, school, what you need in a kit, what it even takes to cut on set. Like that's how far I was already. Like I like to future trip a lot, and that's a recovery term, which means you can't always live in the present. You like to future trip. You like to see what it's going to be like. And I was already having one of those moments, but now I see it as a good thing because it was preparing me for where I'm going. So I was looking up all those types of things, and we didn't have a move date for California yet because my mom was sick. So, and I was in the program, but I knew that once I got out, I was going to come to California. But I also knew I did not want to be the same Brit there that I was here. So I allowed all that I gave up the idea of when I'm going to move here. Dude, truthfully, if you knew me, like if there's people on here that know me from back in the day, they know at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, oh, I'm moving to Cali this year. Oh, I'm moving to Cali this year. Oh, I'm moving to Cali this year. Because I'm chasing something that I had no idea what I'm chasing yet. So once I stopped with that, my passion fell on my lap. Like I said, I woke up, all things barber, what it needs to be in a kit, YouTube videos on how to cut. I started following barbers and searching for queer barbers and black female barbers, like just really diving into this with no idea what was happening or what was going to happen. So when we eventually moved to California, we did make it out here about 4 years ago. And I just started my journey. I went to school. It pushed us, I always tell people it's interesting. California's living is different. Because in Georgia, you can pull up anywhere to an apartment complex. It's an apartment complex. They have a leasing center. They have a manager. They have these apartments that you can go look. Out here, it's different now. You got to call and make sure, hey, are there anything available? And most times, no, because California is very overcrowded. And if it's not I'll say LA, very overcrowded and overpriced. So it pushed us all the way out to Anaheim. So that's where I did all my barbering. I'm a graduate from the Crew Institute out in Garden Grove. But if my real homies are on here, we already know that we come from RBC, which is the Real Barber College out in Anaheim. And when I tell you that was the best, forget high school, forget all that. This was the best few months of my life, dog. But the dude wasn't paying the instructors and all this stuff, so the school got shut down. So we all got split up. So we've been able to keep in contact with social media. So I'm a graduate from Crew Institute, and once I got my license there, I was like, bet. I got my license, about to go cut some hair, and I'm about to get on set. I thought I could just wake up, go fill out an application to be on set, and that'd be it. Nope. They said you need a cosmetology license, then you got to do A, B, C. I'm talking about there's a literally probably like from A to Z what you have to do to get into the set, to get on the set and to become a member of the union. It's not just cutting on set. I say that a lot, but the goal is to become a member of the hair and makeup union, which is the local 706. Because you can go cut on set. If you have a barber's license, you can go cut on set if someone special requests you. But for you to make good money and longevity, you have to be part of the union. You know, so yeah, and sorry if I get off course, I'll try and double back. And if I get too far off the topic, please let me know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I started that, and I got my barber's license, and then I was told I had to go back to cosmetology school. So that's what I did. I went back to cosmetology school. I went to Tony and Guy out in Costa Mesa. So I'm a Tony and Guy graduate from Costa Mesa. So 2018 got my barber's license. 2019 got my cosmetology license. In between all of that, I was working at a shop that was close by my pad, and I was the only female in there. I wasn't the only Black person, so that was comforting. But being the only female in there was a little uncomfortable. Not because of the barbers, but because of the like clientele coming in. You walk into a barbershop and you don't see a whole lot of female barbers, and you definitely don't see a whole lot of queer barbers. You don't see that. You might see more queer barbers than you do like I don't know. I don't want to get into I don't want to say something that's incorrect pertaining to the LGBT community, because even though like I'm in it, there's still so much more that I'm learning about it. And I just know from me living the way that I live, and being around dudes and hanging around dudes, knowing how they perceive a feminine presenting female and a masculine presenting female. They're probably going to want to get their hair cut by the feminine presenting female, even though she may not be able to cut, as opposed to this masculine presenting female who honestly is too much like them or makes them feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So that was the dynamic in that shop. And there was a lot of drugs and alcohol. So I can say no to alcohol all day. I'm talking about all day, every day I can say no to it. But there are certain things that you keep asking me, it's going to be hard for me to say no to. Period. So I have to pull myself out of that one. So that was the first learning curve on that. Let me go back a little bit. When I knew I wanted to become a barber, I knew how pivotal and important being in a barbershop is. I knew that I wanted to cut on set, and I knew that owning a shop, being in a shop, cutting behind a chair all day, all that kind of, I didn't want that. I don't, for my body, for my mental health, for any of that. I just never wanted to own a shop. There's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of things that can happen. I come from a business family. So a lot of this, I look at business-wise. If I open a shop and it's just me and I don't have enough to fill these chairs, and if typically what happens is you go into a barbershop, someone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be here for life. Next week, they're gone. Who is it on? It's on me, because, I have this business that is built like this. It's built to pay booth rent, which is great, but you're also questioning. It's a question mark almost every single day. Like, is this person going to come in? Are they going to pay me my booth rent on time? So it's just a lot. And then, you have to you have to pay rent on that, and you have to pay rent on your house. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to own a shop. And I'm not crapping on anyone that owns a shop or wants to own a shop. Like, I commend those people that want to have those shops, those neighborhood shops, and keep it going, and for the community, and for, LGBTQ people to have a place to go to and things like that. So I knew it was important. So that's why I started to go into the shop. So that first shop was in Anaheim. It wasn't what I wanted. So I was there a couple months, and it was like one of those ones, like, and you'll know when you get your license, you'll be at a little rinky-dink shop. Not saying the shop was rinky-dink. I take that back. They're on here. Like, it wasn't rinky-dink. It was just a neighborhood shop. All the dudes knew each other. All the clients knew all the clients. And, like, so when I was in there, they'd walk in, and they'd be like, oh, it's a walk-in. And they would look at me. They'd be like, no, wait. No, they don't even know how I cut. They don't know anything about me. But just based off what I look like, that's how they want to go. So that was fine. I was like that. I also grew up in the South, so I know what it's like to be looked at and not accepted off the way you look at me. I'm cool with that. I'm sober enough to know it's not me, it's you. You know what I'm saying? Now, back in the day, you stare at me a wrong type of way, you're getting a whole type of different Brit, you know. But again, I didn't want to come out here and do the same things that I was doing out there. I just switch up my whole life, my whole mentality. My spiritual connection with my higher power had to grow stronger. I really had to trust in my higher power. I really had to trust in myself, because this was something that I was doing on my own. Typically, I had my mom behind me, you know, helping me get out of jail. My brothers helping me, you know, pay the bills and all this kind of shit. Or my wife, you know, working double job to make sure that, you know, things are sustainable. You know what I'm saying? But this is the one thing that I was doing for myself that was going to help everyone around me. So I had to get in a place where any decision that I make, I stand in and I stand firm in, and like I try not to make bad decisions. We all do sometimes, and that's okay. But when it comes to my career and my comfortability and my person, I make good decisions, and I base them solely off like my feelings and how does it make me feel? Not what does it bring me, but how is it making me feel at the end of the night when I pack my stuff up and I'm getting in the car. And like, I mean, for instance, like I was at the one shop and I've only been cutting hair, real talk, 4 years. I didn't pick up a clipper till I went to barber school. Didn't pick up a barber school. Didn't pick up a straight. I mean, I'd shave my legs, but as far as lining somebody up, I don't know nothing about that. So I'm also in this shop and I'm taking care of this guy, and the bald line, you know, when you take the shaver up and then you have that bald line. That was where I was struggling at that point in my life. I couldn't get the bald line out for nothing. I was called a bitch. I was really reprimanded, not even in my face, but outside the shop, so loud enough that I could hear it. To the point where I was just like, I waited till he left so I could go home, because I was scared, because he told me he was the neighborhood dude and everybody knew him and all that kind of shit. So now I'm feeling threatened. I don't know what to do. Then I went home and told my wife about it. And at that point, we had started the process of get me out of there.
Yeah.
So I found
And real
another
quick,
yeah.
if I could just interject, I mean, so you're coming from Georgia at this time, you're just out of barber school, you're in a completely new shop where it's very uncomfortable, and to be real, it's like one of the highest pressure situations in your life, probably, moving out of there, being in a new place, and having to be able to succeed in this spot that's not a conducive environment.
Yeah.
So how did you get through that, like more specifically with the meditation, not having your previous vice that you had relied on for so long?
On some real shit, dude, tunnel vision. I knew being behind that chair in that shop wasn't my end goal. It was a stepping stone to make me realize that, okay, this is not for you. This, what you're doing, is for you, but this right here where you're standing behind this chair at this moment in time is not for you. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There goes that making that decision and standing firm in it. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I can't change the dudes. I can't change the way people look at me. I can't change this. I can't change that. But what I can change is being in that shop, being behind that chair, and not putting myself in situations where it's affecting my sobriety, or could possibly affect my sobriety at some point. So it's that I use the serenity prayer daily. It's something that I recite daily, whether I got something going on or not. It could be down to the simplest thing of going and working out that day. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And for me, that means, do you want a healthy, longevity, long, fulfilled life? Or do you want to sit here and still have your shoulder pain and your neck pain? Well, there's things that I can control. I can't control blah, 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 but I can control getting up and going working out every day. So for me, the serenity prayer gets me through a lot of the things that I go through in my life. And I knew the serenity prayer before I even got into AA. And I'm grateful for my mom for that. My mom instilled a lot of spiritual things in me, not, believe in God, but it was, he made you for who you are in his image. I love you. We love you. The outside world doesn't matter. Now, the outside world judges, but she's right. They don't matter. I'm different. And I'm coming to know that I'm different. And I'm okay being different. And I think a lot of it has to do with me growing up in the South. It's a mind frame. I had to get out of that Southern box that I could only be gay, straight, or lesbian. No. Literally none of that. I'm somewhere right mixed in the middle, put all of that into something, and that's me. I'm a little bit of everything. But it took me a while to get to that. And it took me the barbershops to get through that too. So the second shop I was at, because that first one just wasn't working out. So the second shop I went to was pretty cool. I was not the only female in there. So for me, I was like, yes, this is great. I'm not the only female. Now I'm the only black person, but like, I'm used to that. If anything, I stand out in a good way. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to make me feel any type of way because of the color of my skin. Not anymore. You know what I'm saying? That shit done sailed for me. So I was okay with that. I was fine with that. I was just excited to be around these other female barbers. Well, I was there for about maybe 3 or 4 months. And my first month in, I noticed, because what they did at first, like, it was a kind of a decent sized shop. It had like 9 chairs. And the walk-ins were pretty heavy, and like you could do appointments and that kind of stuff. But they would divvy out the walk-ins, you know, kind of in a formal line, you know, so everyone was equal to what they got. Well, about a month in, I started to realize I would get skipped over. And when I would say, hey, are there no walk-ins? It would be told, oh, no, that was an appointment for so-and-so. Oh, no, that was an appointment for so-and-so. Okay. But what I'm noticing what they're sitting in my chair is kids. And we all know how kids are. So you get some good ones and you get some bad ones. So I'm like, okay, kids. And then something happened. I was cutting a kid, and I was one of the first 2 chairs by the cash register. So I can see on my peripheral when people come in and come out, and black dude came in. And he was saying that he went somewhere and like he just wanted under his neck clean. They didn't do it right and all that kind of stuff, or like he just wanted something, you know, done. So mind you, the dude at the counter was like, oh, we don't have anybody. Everyone's booked and all this kind of stuff. I'm in the middle of cutting a kid. I stopped. And my wife can vouch for this story because, like, I called her as soon as, like, the cut got done because I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this shit. So I stopped it. So, mind you, they tell the guy, no, we don't have anybody. We're too booked. Because he was just talking about the line under here. That's all he wanted was the line
5-10 minutes.
Dog, nothing. I'm not even going to charge you for that. Sit down real quick. Let me help you. You know what I'm saying? They turned the guy away. I told the kid, hey, hold on, I'll be right back. I put my clippers down. I took my gloves off, and I went outside. I said, hey, what happened? He was like, oh, he said that he didn't have anybody to touch this line under here. And I was like, I got you. Come back in and wait a minute. So I finished the kid. I took care of him, and that was it. Now, this guy would come to see me every 2 weeks up until I was there. But that was the I forgot what word I'm looking for. But what just kept happening, the repeated thing, it was kids and it was black folks. It was the pattern. But it was more kids than anything because it was a Hispanic-dominated barbershop in a Hispanic-dominated area. So you're not going to get a lot of those. And the crazy part is that the dude that actually came in that they turned away was Dominican. But you're going based off what his hair texture is like and what his skin complexion is like. Because that's another thing. They'll turn around coarse hair. They don't want the coarse hair. They don't want it. You know what I'm saying? And I was told in barber school, learn how to cut everything. Yeah. Shear work. Shear work's going to set you apart. That's what I was told. Shear work.
And that's the whole concept of a master barber, anything that walks through the door. But
anything that walks through the door you want to take. Yep. My barber instructor told me, and going around, like when I first started school, they go around the room, oh, what are your visions and goals? And I'd be like, I'm TV and film, want to work on set. And everybody would look at me like I'm crazy. But I won't forget that he did tell me, like if you want to be successful in that, you have to learn how to do everything. So, and that's just what I did with it. So after I left that, once I noticed what was happening, I really dived deep into finding either a black owned shop by like female black owned or queer owned. Those were the 2 things that I was really, really looking for at that point because I was tired. I was like, okay, I might have to open my own shop, or I might just have to wait until I get this set stuff popping to really like get it going. But I started looking, and I started just like, there were a few that had popped up, but none of them were currently open. None of them. So I was even Instagram messaging, and I wasn't getting anything back. So I was like, this is crazy. All these are saying that these shops are current, but nothing is happening. And my brother hit me up one day. He was like, hey, I got someone who knows someone who they're queer. They just opened a shop, black, da-da-da-da. Boom, sign me up. So I actually hooked up with the owner of High and Tight Barbershop, which is a queer-owned, black-owned, veteran-owned barbershop in Mid-City, LA. Hands down, pretty much the only queer-owned barbershop I know of right now in 2021. It's the only active shop that I know that you can go in and come as you are, because that's the most important part. So I started to look for that, and I came across the owner, and we just really hit it off. And it's a great place. It's been a great place. I was cutting there all the way up until the pandemic, and then once the pandemic hit, I kind of broke off and went by myself, and really started to focus in on my set work, because again, that was my end goal. And I'm grateful for the pandemic. I'm so sorry for anyone who caught COVID or lost anyone from COVID. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but I looked at it as in a different way for me. I was starting to lose myself in the shop. I was starting to be more shop mentality, all that. I did want to build my clientele because I need to learn more tools and things of the trade, but I can't have one foot in the barbershop and one foot in on set. I got to make a choice on what I want to do. And my end goal was set. So that's what I did. So that's what I'm doing now. Everything I'm doing is fully set related that I'm trying to do. And in between that, I do, I cut clients. I do house calls, and I cut out of a private space. And I'm just really just trying to fulfill my purpose that I was called to do.
Yeah. And it's when you're trying to give yourself the two things at once and you want to fulfill this to the fullest extent, it's pretty impossible and draining.
I literally found the perfect shop that I was looking for. And like, I had it for so long, and then I got to the point where I was like, wait, but didn't you get in this for something else? Didn't you get into this for something else? And I had to say, yes, you did. Well, what are you going to do now? There's no better time than the present time. And living in California during a pandemic had shifted. It did something different for my business mind. I got an LLC. I had actually started cutting out of a private suite at a place, very expensive. But at the same time, I was willing to do it because I didn't want to, and nor do I want to lose my clientele. Set is not always going to be there. If you see with the pandemic, TV, start watching stuff now. Everything is like, you can tell that what was filmed during the pandemic. It was very hit and miss. Not everyone was working. So even my people that I had connections with on set, they said, don't lose your clientele. That's your bread and butter. Keep your clientele. Those are the people that you're going to need when the TV's not here anymore, because we don't know when it's going to go away. So I know that too. So I know that I have to keep that rapport. I know that I have to get out there and get my feet wet and still connect with everyday people. And I'm good with that. I enjoy, there's 12 steps in recovery. And the last step is acts of service and giving back to the community. And the pandemic showed me that my acts of service is cutting hair. In my prayer daily, it's, Lord, I want to be successful, but I don't want to be successful in money. Do I want to live comfortably? Do we all? Yes. But my success is going to come from connecting with you and the 10 people that are on this live right now. And then whoever else it connects after we repost this, that's what it's for. And then it's for the people that come and sit in my chair, whether you be gay, straight, LGBTQ, whatever. I have a mixture of people that come to me. Same as High and Tight Barbershop. Just because it's queer owned and black owned and veteran owned doesn't mean, you're not allowed. It just means that we accept everyone. And I truly believe that we are headed in that direction with other barbershops. You don't see a whole lot of gay men that are barbers. You see a lot of hairstylists. So even that is a thing. When you walk into a barbershop that is male dominated, you're going to have a lot of straight males that are going to talk about things that I really could care less about. Or or I walk in and you talk about shit that ain't even real because you want to up your insecurities. You know what I'm saying? So there's that side too. But I truly believe that the barber industry is growing in a direction that no one ever knew that it would be.
I do as well. And it's tough because naturally it is an industry that's very segmented because they're very much community based. They pop up in certain cultural hubs and they serve that clientele.
Yeah.
So when someone that's not like the others walks in, it's sometimes it's just not connecting on certain stuff. But how do you in your opinion, foster that inclusivity so that anyone walks in the door can be comfortable? Like, what would be your vision of, I know you don't want to open a shop, but if you could create the perfect one, like, what would that look like for you?
It starts with the owner and it starts with the barbers that are in that shop. So if I were to open a shop, obviously I'm LGBTQ. I would either want other LGBTQ barbers or allies. You ain't got to be whatever to cut in the shop, but know and respect when someone comes in different as you, you know how to be respectful and manage yourself. I don't want to walk into a, like, or even you walk into a shop and the whole conversation shifts. Now it's gotta shift because I'm in there. No, keep it balanced. Keep it balanced. And two, I think you sent me something too, but I also saw another clip of a straight barber cutting a gay dude and them having the conversation of like, but what are you gonna do to change it? How are you? And the barber, as you could see as they're talking, he's getting it. He didn't get it at first. He was like, but I'm in the shop and I'm just shooting shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But then at the end, he's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. You are different in that way. So it's just knowing your audience, which are your clients, and knowing who you have working in your shop. Because at the end of the day, that falls on management. If my barber has let's use a person who looks like me. I'll use myself, queer. I identify as queer, non-binary. She and they are my pronouns. He is not a pronoun that I really like. Growing up, I always got called a boy. So I'm like, I don't want that, So if I go somewhere and I sit down there like, okay, what can I get for you today, sir? Are you only calling me sir based off what I look like? Or are you calling me sir because you know those were what are my proper or improper pronouns? So it's also that. So that's why when people say they, it gives you an umbrella. If you don't know, say they. Know your audience. If someone walks in, and they don't look like someone that you've ever cut before, change your shit. And if you can't, then you need to go somewhere else and maybe cut by yourself. There's also that too. If you're not comfortable with the LGBT community, you don't have to cut in the shop. You can be by yourself. But I think it's just really, to be honest, knowing your audience and really managers or owners of the shops knowing, hiring more LGBTQ people. And I'm talking about lesbian. I'm talking about gays. I'm talking about transgender. I'm talking about queer. Hire all of those people, all of us. We are unicorns. We are great. Just because we look a certain way and carry ourselves a certain way doesn't mean we're not like you. So that's what I'm saying. So just because we might look this way or I might act this way, I'm still a barber and I'm still a human and I'm still a person. I see all these things sometimes. It's just says like barber or female crossed out, male crossed out, and it's just barber. I get that. We all are barbers, but we got to respect one another and we got to respect our clients that come in because not everybody's going to get it either. So even if you, like I said, even if you're an owner that all your barbers are in there are straight and you guys do have people from the LGBT community come in, I think that's a conversation you should have with your team. That's where it starts. It starts with the management and the team. It don't start with me because I'm coming in to get my hair cut.
Yeah, it's not your responsibility.
It's not my responsibility. It really does, to me, it really does come down to the owner. And that's why I was so appreciative of High and Tight, because it is an owner who is queer. It's an owner who understands. It's an owner who, you know what I'm saying? But it's also a space where majority of our clients, it's a mixture. We have a mixture of clients, a mixture of people that walk in there. It's in mid-city. And so it's a nice little neighborhood. So you have kids that come in. You have, when I say it's everyone. And that's how they should be. There should be nothing that anyone ever walks into a shop and feels uncomfortable about. But at the same time, I feel like I'm asking too much because we're human and we do judge.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
judge,
human nature.
Yeah. But it's just about, just having it starts with the owner and having the conversation with the team. I see someone here said diversity. Yes, diversity is key. I mean, it's something that's really happening within the industry. And like, the more I get on social media and especially on my barber page, the more I see queer barbers popping up, and I love it. I proudly say that I'm a queer barber, and I represent the rainbow flag, and I do all that kind of stuff very proudly and out proudly. And I know that some barbers don't, and I don't know if it's because they don't want to think that they only house to a certain type of community, and outside of that, straight people or people who aren't in the community feel unwelcome, and we don't want that either. What we're
Yeah.
saying is everybody needs to come together and be peaceful, just like with everything, the world. We all want peace, right? Why don't we want peace in the barbershop? Because truthfully, even a straight dude that goes into a barbershop does not want to know what you did with your girl last night. You feel me? So it's not even about like LGBT and all that kind of stuff. It's know your audience, dog. Don't have those conversations with you and the homie in the barbershop when you in the back, taking a break. Not right now.
Yeah. And I think
Talk.
barbershop talk for so long was just like, you're in the barbershop, it's just barbershop talk. It's just barbershop talk. And that can become an excuse, for really a lack of
Oh
professionalism
man,
and
they
a
know.
lack of,
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't mean that shit. I love your kind. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean you didn't mean it? I love my kind. What is my kind, sir? It's stuff like that, because those are the and I've been in situations, not even in the barbershop, where it's like, oh no, don't say that, Brit's right here. No, say that shit. Most likely I've already done it. And if anything, I probably bagged more than you. So what's up? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but like, but I say all that to say, yeah, it's just conversation and just knowing and just really inclusion, diversity, and come as you are. Going to get your haircut is therapeutic. I don't care who you are. Girls go to get their hair did, they be spending hundreds of dollars to go gossip. It's real. Sometimes it's not it's expensive. They do use a lot
yeah.
of product and stuff like that. So I give them that. But it's where we go to talk about what we got going on. It's our job as the barber to listen. So really, we shouldn't be doing a whole lot of talking when we're cutting hair. If you want me to be real about it, we shouldn't be doing a whole lot of talking. I try not to. I ask questions. I let them talk. I follow up. If it's dead, I might ask another question. If they answer, they answer. If it's dead again, I let it go.
Let it go.
But you always, it's not about you. It's about them. So that's really what it really should be. There is no barbershop talk when clients are in here. Unless that client is like a legit homie. There's a difference. There's a time and a place. If you know that there's a walk-in that came in, or this is the first time that this client has come into the shop, hold that story till they're gone. They may not be into it. Just be mindful. Be mindful of yourself and be mindful of what you say. And even though it might be funny to you, it's not funny to other people. Just that kind of stuff. Just allow people to come as they are.
I think for me and others that, I'm not super familiar with all this. I think having conversations about it is the most important, and exposing myself to it. And that might be at times why I'm more quiet and I don't have a lot to say, but that's really just me listening and interpreting and getting a grasp on it and seeing how I can apply that to myself. But I think about when I go to get my haircut, and I don't have to think about the things that others may have to. For me, it's just, I'm going to come out, I'm going to look like a completely different person. I'm going to feel great after. But I had talked about with you, I found an article when I was doing some research some time back where someone was trying to create an app for LGBTQ safe barbershops. And he told his story about going to a barber and how he's going in detail about the way he wanted his hair to look. And just, it was a horrifying and embarrassing experience. And to me, that really stuck out, because I don't think I would ever have that experience or feel that way when I'm going into a barbershop. So I think the approach you're taking to it, and just, even like you said, advertising yourself as a queer barber and putting that right out in front will also help others to come out, and you create that community. So it's really admirable what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate you, and these conversations are important, and the fact that you took the time out to have this conversation speaks volumes to the type of person that you are and your character. because you're willing to learn. You're willing to sit back and say, okay, let's hear from another perspective. And I think with me, I'm just like a whole bunch of stuff in a bucket. So, you know, I think that what you're doing is great. And yeah, these conversations have to keep being had. I think that the male dominance in the barber industry is slowly yet quickly dying. And that's okay because the inclusivity, you know, come up with my own words. The inclusiveness of it all is important. You start to go to these barber shows. Me and my wife went to our very first one, like when we first moved here, and I got this windbreaker, and it was really cool because it says on the back, Girl Gang Cut Club. And I was like, damn right, man, Girl Gang Cut Club, because there ain't nobody else. I went to this event, and it was a female barber event. So I was surrounded by like Pope the Barber, Stacy Gold, and those types of people. But I also learned that they don't promote themselves as a queer barber. They're in this male dominated industry, and like, you know, and I don't even know if they're queer. I take that back. I don't know. That was my judgment. Sorry, Pope. Sorry, Stacy. That's not what I was trying to say. I was just saying, you know, there were other people that masculine presented like me are in the barbershop, but they're not saying if they're queer or not. And for me, like, if I'm a client who's queer looking for a barber and I see you dressed like me, but you don't say you're queer, like, it starts too many questions. We're like, okay, on to the next one. But then what if those are the only three in your area and you're just like, but what if? And you eventually are just like, okay, I'm going to go and see how it plays out, you know? But yeah, it's changing and it's being in a good direction, you know? So I'm really glad and grateful that I was brought my passion to me. Like I'm telling you, I had no idea that this is what I was going to do. Talking on live definitely is not something that I thought I was going to ever do twice. Be in a magazine, no. Photo shoots, no. Like all this kind of stuff that like really, when they say, oh, you pray, and when you pray, it's going to actually be bigger than what you prayed about. It's happening. And I don't know what to do with it. I'm just riding it out. You know,
And I think it's just getting started.
It's just getting started, and it's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing, but I'm so grateful for it. And like, you know, again, I'm gonna shout out High and Tight Barbershop because it is a queer barbershop that's in Mid-City LA. That, you know, it's a great space. It's a space that you can just go and be yourself. And I know that there are other queer barbers out there that cut in private spaces, and we're out there. We just kind of have to find us, but you know, the game is changing, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. And I'm grateful to have this odd platform that's starting to build up underneath me. And if I'm a voice for queer barbers, and, you know, just to say, hey, we're out here, hey, we're here, we're queer, you know, I will, because we matter and we do good work, and we're changing the game. We're changing the game.
And the common theme I can take away from all these in the lives and the people I talk to, it really is the power of a haircut, something that's so human and so natural.
Yep.
But so many things, so many positive things are able to come from it. And you're using a platform that is hair.
Well, the haircut is just, it's just what I do. It's just the physical action of what I do. It's not who I am. What I do, that's the act of what I do. But what I was really meant to do was what you and I are doing, and talking to people and being open about my sobriety, and me being open about being non-binary, because there's other barbers out there that are probably trying to figure things out too. You know.
And I hope they can see this and that this can help them.
Yeah,
So
sure.
what's next for you? What can we expect to be seeing soon? Is there anything you got in store that you can share? It's still underground, under wraps?
Honestly, dude, everything that I've been working on so far has not come out yet. So there are a bunch of things that are in the works that will be coming out soon. I'm getting ready to be on set for pretty much the whole month of July. So I'll be doing that, and like cutting on the weekends and house calls when I can. But the set stuff is pretty much where I'm at. It's not easy to get into. It's a lot of, you know, you take the gigs that you really don't want, and the pay that you really don't want, you know, all those kinds of things. And they're long hours, long days. I mean, I was on set for a month straight, and, you know, barely saw my wife. And, you know, even though I was doing what I love to do, there was still this oddness of like, oh my gosh, am I lacking in this place? But she held the fort down. I mean, you know, she knew what she was getting into when she got with me, and when we moved here, you know. So Yeah, I got a lot of things in the works, to be honest. Nothing has just come out yet. So as things start to come out, I'll start to post. Yeah, so I'm just really grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for dude, that rig, people love it.
Yeah.
People absolutely love it. And they're always like, dude, you look like you're ready to do work. And I was like, I'm always ready to do work. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? So that I know you guys are on a good headway for that. Like only up from here for you guys for sure. And yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
really grateful.
Thank you
Yeah, for
very
sure.
much. And I would like to do another one to dig into some of that said stuff because
Yeah,
it's fascinating to me, and even the union aspect of it all. Just discussing how some of that could be applied and the
yeah,
positives and negatives. And also, I appreciate your support. You were one of our day one customers
yeah,
with the
dog.
product. You've been repping it ever since. And just seeing you on set with it every time is amazing to me. And it always gets better.
Oh yeah,
So
I even use I really love it for my house calls because like I don't like to carry like a table and all that kind of stuff. So I just sit my bag down, I load up my rig for what I need, and I just keep going, man. So
yeah,
it's an awesome product. You guys are freaking amazing. You guys are geniuses. So don't stop.
thank you very much. We're going to keep going with it. I'm
Yeah,
very excited to keep going
yeah.
with it, and we got some things in store. But thank you so much, Britt, for coming on and having this conversation with me and sharing some things that are very near and dear to your heart.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time with me. It was a great conversation for me and for everyone here. So
Thank you.
thank you so much.
I hope I stuck to everything that you were trying to touch base on
Oh, we covered it all,
today. So
and I
but
knew
yeah,
we
dude.
would. That's why you're a great speaker and you get very deep with stuff. So I didn't really want to interject. I wanted to more just sit there and listen
Yeah,
as others did. So again,
yeah.
thank you so much, and
Thank
it was a
you.
great time.
Thank
All
you.
right, Britt, we'll
Hey,
talk soon.
hey, God bless you, my guy. All right.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for
All right, man.
watching. Take care.
Yes.
Have a
Thank you,
great night.
everyone.
Happy
Peace.
Wednesday. Bye bye.